July 1875. Across America, farmers are fighting the soil, not the system. But there are no assembly lines, no tractors, no engines, just horses, plows, and aching backs. But in a quiet Michigan farmhouse, something strange is happening. A 12-year-old boy, grease-stained, wide-eyed, is building a steam engine from scratch. Not for school, not for fun, but because he can't stop thinking about how things work. His name is Henry Ford, and already he's imagining machines that could replace muscle. Driven by the wariness in his father's face, he starts chasing a vision no one else can see. Armed with scrap metal, wrenches, and pure obsession, Ford sets out to change how the world builds. He wouldn't just create tractors, trucks, or tanks. He'd forge a new kind of power, one not written in gold, but stamped into steel. There he was in 1875, 12 years old, covered in grease and grinning from ear to ear. Henry Ford had just set up his first machine shop in a corner of his family's barn in Wayne County, Michigan. Most farm kids his age were learning to milk cows or plant corn. Ford was taking apart pocket watches and building steam engines from scratch. At 15, he achieved something remarkable, a working steam engine entirely from scratch. While others learned to plow, Ford mastered mechanical power. The Ford family's 40-acre farm gave Henry a front-row seat to everything wrong with 1870s agriculture. Dawn to dusk labor, horses eating crops that could feed people, seasonal work that left families struggling through winter. Ford watched his father and neighbors break their backs every day, limited by muscle power and animal strength. Traditional farming consumed enormous amounts of valuable farmland just to feed the horses and mules that provided power. Ford calculated that these animals were eating crops that could otherwise feed humans, a critique that would drive his mechanical vision. But Ford's mechanical genius created a problem. His father expected him to take over the farm. Henry had different plans. In 1879, he walked away from farming to become a machinist's apprentice in Detroit. The industrial world called to him: steam engines, precision tools, manufacturing processes. These fascinated him far more than planting seasons and harvest schedules. He never stopped thinking about agriculture. His work setting up and repairing Westinghouse steam engines kept him connected to farming communities. He saw the same problems everywhere. Farming was too slow, too seasonal, too dependent on human and animal muscle. Ford became convinced that mechanical power could transform farming just as it was transforming transportation. His time in Detroit's machine shops taught him something crucial. Complex machinery could be simplified. Expensive processes could be made affordable. What worked for manufacturing could work for farming. He wanted to free farmers from physical drudgery while increasing their productivity and profits. In 1907, Ford decided to test his theory. He commissioned Joseph Gallum and C.J. Smith to build his first experimental tractor at his Detroit plant. Ford called it his automotive plow. The name captured his vision perfectly, applying automotive technology to agricultural problems. Ford's vision for the future of farming started right here: to revolutionize farming with the same principles that were transforming transportation. The automotive plow looked nothing like the massive steam-powered traction engines that dominated agricultural mechanization. Those machines were expensive, complicated, and required skilled operators. Ford's design emphasized lightweight construction, affordability, and reliability. He used Model B and Model K automotive parts, demonstrating his commitment to leveraging existing manufacturing capabilities and supply chains. Between 1907 and 1916, Ford's team produced several experimental designs. Each prototype refined the engine mounting, drivetrain, and chassis configuration. They tackled the engineering challenges unique to agricultural machinery: low speed, high torque operation, varied terrain, and demanding working conditions. Ford recognized that making tractors affordable for farmers required mass production techniques. But Ford's agricultural vision faced a reality check. World War I changed everything. American farms suddenly needed to produce more food than ever before, but with fewer workers. Men were heading to war. Traditional farming methods couldn't meet demand. Ford's experimental tractors had been interesting projects. Now they became urgent necessities. Ford launched the Fordson tractor in 1917. Lightweight, affordable, and mass-produced, it represented the culmination of his childhood dream. The Fordson used unit frame construction, eliminating the heavy chassis that made other tractors expensive and complex. Assembly line production methods, refined through Model T manufacturing, allowed Ford to produce tractors at unprecedented speed and scale. Fordson rolled out as Ford's solution to a looming national emergency. But this success would soon demand something far greater. The same mass production techniques that revolutionized agriculture were about to face their ultimate test in the crucible of global war. Ford's rapid transition to war production in 1917 revealed something remarkable about American manufacturing. The same assembly lines building Fordson tractors could be retooled for military hardware. When the US Navy needed patrol boats fast, Ford proposed something radical: building ships like cars. The Eagle boat program moved vessels through 7 distinct assembly stations. Workers specialized in specific tasks. Parts arrived in sequence. Ford produced 60 Eagle anti-submarine boats at the Rouge plant from May 1918 to October 1919. Traditional shipbuilders charged more and took longer. The breakthrough moment came when Ford's team built boat number 59 in just 10 days. Ford had proved that assembly line methods worked for complex military equipment. But World War I was just practice. The real test came 25 years later. When World War II erupted in Europe, Ford initially opposed American involvement. He joined the America First Committee, arguing that America should stay neutral. Ford's anti-war stance reflected his belief that industrial might should build prosperity, not weapons. But Pearl Harbor changed everything. America needed industrial production on a scale never before imagined. The challenge was staggering. America had to produce tanks, bombers, gliders, engines, ships, and trucks, while simultaneously ramping up food production. Traditional manufacturers couldn't meet the demand. The military needed Ford's mass production expertise. But could automotive assembly lines handle the complexity of military hardware? Ford's answer was Willow Run. This massive facility stretched 3.5 million square feet under one roof. Ford designed Willow Run specifically to move aircraft through progressive assembly stations using proven automotive methods. But aviation experts were skeptical. Aircraft required precision that automotive workers couldn't possibly achieve. The early months at Willow Run were rough. Production crawled. Workers struggled with aircraft assembly techniques. Critics called it "Will It Run?" Ford's reputation was on the line. The company had promised the impossible, building bombers like cars. But Ford's team kept refining the process. They trained automotive workers to handle aircraft precision. They developed new jigs and fixtures. They created sub-assembly workflows that broke complex aircraft into manageable components. The breakthrough came in 1943. Production numbers started climbing. Workers gained confidence. The assembly line found its rhythm. By 1944, Willow Run reached its incredible peak: one B-24 Liberator bomber every 63 minutes. The same facility that struggled to build one aircraft per day was now producing 24 bombers daily. Ford had proven that even the most complex machinery could be mass-produced. The numbers tell the story. Ford produced 8,685 B-24 bombers during World War II. The company also manufactured 57,851 aircraft engines, 4,289 military gliders, and thousands of tanks, jeeps, and other vehicles. Ford's total wartime output exceeded 149,000 units. Behind the figures stood the machines that secured victory. The company's wartime innovations extended beyond production volume. Ford developed flat-hull ship designs that simplified construction. Center-wing jigs revolutionized aircraft assembly. Distributed supply chains connected hundreds of suppliers across the country. These techniques influenced manufacturing for decades afterward. The social impact was equally profound. Ford's wartime factories employed millions of workers, including women who had never worked in manufacturing. Rose Will Monroe, the famous Rosie the Riveter, worked at Willow Run. Ford's employment boom lifted entire communities out of Depression-era poverty. The company proved that American industry could adapt to any challenge. Ford's wartime transformation was complete. The pacifist automaker had become the cornerstone of the Allied war machine. The company that started by manufacturing automobiles had become America's arsenal of democracy. But victory brought new challenges. Wartime production was ending. Millions of soldiers were returning home. America needed to rebuild its peacetime economy. Ford's wartime success had established the company as more than an automaker. Ford was now an industrial problem solver, capable of tackling any manufacturing challenge. The question was, what would America need to build next? America's construction boom provided the answer. Picture a construction site in 1947. Workers are pouring concrete for new suburban homes. The sound of hammers echoes across what used to be farmland. But here's what catches your eye. Dozens of Ford trucks hauling materials, equipment, and workers. These vehicles formed the backbone of a shift as massive as the Industrial Revolution. World War II had ended, but America's work was just beginning. Millions of GI Bill veterans needed homes. Cities were expanding into suburbs. The federal government was planning the interstate highway system. Construction projects sprouted everywhere. Shopping centers, office buildings, factories, and schools. Growth didn't trickle in, it exploded, demanding industrial-scale logistics. Ford's wartime experience had taught the company something valuable. Mass production worked for more than cars and bombers. It worked for any vehicle that needed to be reliable, durable, and affordable. Ford's factories had built tanks that survived European battlefields. They had manufactured aircraft that flew thousands of combat missions. Now Ford needed to apply that same engineering expertise to America's peacetime challenges. The competition was fierce. General Motors dominated commercial vehicle sales with their established dealer networks and proven designs. Dodge had military contracts that gave them credibility with industrial customers. International Harvester owned the heavy-duty truck market. Ford faced skeptical fleet managers who wondered if a car company could understand the brutal demands of construction, farming, and freight hauling. These environments destroyed ordinary vehicles. Fleet managers demanded trucks that could work 10 hours daily without breaking down. They needed payload capacity that could handle everything from lumber to machinery. Most importantly, they needed vehicles that could be repaired quickly and cheaply. Ford's answer came in 1948. The company announced the F-Series truck line. Built with purpose, these vehicles served industry, not the highway. The F1 through F8 models covered everything from light delivery to heavy construction. Each truck was engineered for specific weight classes and usage patterns. The F-Series introduced features that redefined commercial vehicles. 7 inches more cab width gave operators room to work comfortably during long shifts. Increased headroom reduced fatigue. Better visibility improved safety. These might seem like minor improvements, but they mattered enormously to people who spent entire days behind the wheel. Ford's automotive manufacturing expertise created a crucial advantage. Standardized components meant lower costs. Assembly line production meant consistent quality. Mass production meant affordable prices. Small contractors could suddenly afford industrial-grade trucks. This democratized commercial transportation in ways that transformed American business. The 1954 Y-block V8 engine changed everything. This 239 cubic inch power plant delivered 25% more horsepower than previous engines. More importantly, it provided the low-end torque needed for heavy hauling. Construction crews could pull loaded trailers up steep grades, farmers could operate heavy implements, freight companies could haul bigger loads faster. Ford's engineering team solved fundamental problems that had limited truck performance for decades. The 1965 twin I-beam independent front suspension improved ride quality while maintaining heavy-duty durability. Drivers could handle rough terrain without destroying their backs. Equipment arrived at job sites undamaged. This innovation gave Ford trucks a competitive edge that lasted for years. The interstate highway system created unprecedented demand for long-distance freight hauling. Ford's C-Series cab-over trucks maximized cargo space while meeting length regulations. The tilting cab design allowed easy engine access for maintenance. These trucks became the workhorses of America's expanding logistics network. Ford trucks appeared everywhere America was building. Construction sites for the interstate highway system, suburban developments spreading across former farmland, industrial facilities supporting the post-war economic boom. Shopping centers served growing communities. Each project required reliable transportation for materials, equipment, and workers. The Built Ford Tough campaign crystallized the brand's industrial identity. The difference? Real performance, not just polished words. Ford's trucks had proven themselves in the harshest conditions. Construction crews, farmers, and freight companies trusted Ford because the trucks delivered consistent performance day after day. By 1977, Ford's F-Series became America's best-selling truck line. Not just about units sold, it revealed Ford's insight into the everyday worker. Ford's truck success established the company as more than an automaker. Ford had become the go-to manufacturer for American industry's mobility needs. They didn't just build trucks, they built the systems that moved a country. And when the company looked beyond the road in the 1980s, they weren't guessing. They were thinking in terms of leverage, logic, and long-range problem-solving. That kind of thinking isn't just for automakers. It's something anyone can develop. And Brilliant can help you do it. Brilliant is an interactive learning platform that trains your brain to think like an engineer. Their course on scientific thinking walks you through how to break down problems, test ideas, and build solutions, step by step. You're not just reading theory, you're solving real challenges the way industrial designers and innovators do. If you're the kind of person who loves understanding how things work and why smart systems outperform brute force, this is for you. To learn for free on Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/heavymatic. Scan the QR code on screen or click on the link in the description. Brilliant's also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. Big thanks to Brilliant for supporting this video. In 1986, Ford made a bold move that shocked the farming world. The company spent approximately $330 million to acquire Sperry New Holland, plus taking on $110 million in liabilities. This acquisition doubled as a message: Ford was back in agriculture. Why would a truck and car company suddenly decide to challenge John Deere's dominance? Ford had walked away from agriculture decades earlier to focus on automotive success. Now the company was making a massive bet on returning to its roots. American agriculture was recovering from the devastating farm crisis of the early 1980s. Thousands of farmers had lost their land, equipment dealers had closed, the industry was rebuilding, and Ford saw opportunity. The company needed to diversify globally. Automotive markets were becoming increasingly competitive. Ford's executives believed agricultural equipment offered stable, long-term growth potential that could balance the ups and downs of car sales. Ford's target was New Holland, a Pennsylvania-based company that had built a strong reputation in hay and forage equipment. New Holland brought something Ford desperately needed: credibility with farmers and dealers. The company's balers, mowers, and rakes were trusted by hay producers across America. More importantly, New Holland had established dealer networks in Europe and growing markets worldwide. Ford could leverage these relationships to expand globally. The acquisition made strategic sense on paper. Ford had manufacturing expertise. New Holland had agricultural knowledge. Together, they could create a comprehensive machinery company that served farmers from planting to harvest. Ford's financial resources could fund the research and development that New Holland needed to compete with larger rivals like John Deere and Case IH. Ford expanded this strategy by acquiring Versatile, a Canadian manufacturer that controlled 70% of the four-wheel drive tractor market. This gave Ford New Holland a complete product line, from compact utility tractors to massive field machines. The complementary products created opportunities for dealers to serve diverse farming operations. But merging two large companies with different cultures created enormous challenges. Ford's automotive engineers thought in terms of high-volume production and standardized components. New Holland's agricultural engineers prioritized durability and specialized applications. Ford's marketing focused on consumer appeal. New Holland's approach emphasized practical performance and dealer relationships. Farmers and dealers questioned Ford's long-term commitment. The company had abandoned tractor manufacturing before. Would Ford stick with agriculture when automotive profits called? Dealers worried about parts availability and service support. They remembered other companies that had entered agriculture with great fanfare only to exit when results disappointed. The technical challenges were equally daunting. Ford's existing tractors used different hydraulic systems than New Holland's implements. Engine mounting points didn't match, electrical systems were incompatible. Simply putting Ford and New Holland badges on the same machines wouldn't work. The products needed real integration. Ford's response was to invest heavily in research and development. The company committed $200 million to modernizing manufacturing facilities. New product development accelerated. Engineering teams worked to create compatible systems across the entire product line. Ford also shifted from company-owned stores to independent dealers between 1987 and 1989, recognizing that local expertise was crucial for agricultural success. The Genesis Tractor project became the symbol of Ford's unified vision. This advanced machine combined Ford's automotive expertise with New Holland's agricultural knowledge. The Genesis featured a revolutionary cab design that improved operator comfort and visibility. The hydraulic system provided precise control for complex implements. The transmission offered smooth shifting under load. This tractor told the world that Ford still had big ideas for the farm. Product synergies emerged across the combined company. New Holland's hay tools worked perfectly with Ford's utility tractors. Ford's loader tractors complemented New Holland's material handling equipment. The company's dealer network shared customers and service capabilities. Farmers could buy complete machinery packages from a single source. The results exceeded expectations. Ford New Holland's revitalized dealer network provided the local expertise that modern farmers demanded. Product quality improved as Ford's manufacturing discipline merged with New Holland's agricultural focus. The company's sales reached $2.8 billion by 1990, proving that Ford's agricultural gamble was paying off. Customer response was overwhelmingly positive. Farmers appreciated the improved reliability and performance. Dealers valued the comprehensive product line and strong financial backing. Industry observers recognized Ford New Holland as a serious competitor to established agricultural giants. The company had successfully re-entered agriculture with modern technology and global ambitions. But success in agriculture would make Ford's next decision all the more shocking. Just as Ford New Holland was hitting its stride, corporate boardrooms were about to witness one of the most surprising strategic reversals in industrial history. In August 1990, Ford Motor Company sold 80% of its Ford New Holland division to Fiat for $1.9 billion. This exit ended Ford's decades-long presence in farming, a relationship that stretched back to Henry Ford's launch of the Fordson tractor in 1917. The decision shocked the agricultural world and marked the end of Ford's dream to become a complete industrial manufacturer. Ford's agricultural roots ran deep. Henry Ford had grown up on a farm. He understood farming's challenges firsthand. The Fordson tractor had revolutionized agriculture in the 1920s. Ford had operated global tractor manufacturing for decades. The company had built a reputation for reliable, affordable farm equipment. Ford's 1986 acquisition of Sperry New Holland was supposed to solve the company's biggest agricultural limitation. Ford made tractors, New Holland made harvesting equipment. Together, they could offer farmers complete machinery solutions. The combined Ford New Holland had achieved remarkable success. The Genesis tractor project was winning industry awards. Dealers were enthusiastic about the product line. Farmers appreciated the improved reliability and performance. By every measure, Ford's agricultural gamble was paying off. So why would Ford abandon a successful business? The answer lay in Ford's broader strategic challenges. The automotive industry was facing unprecedented global competition. Japanese manufacturers were gaining market share with superior quality and efficiency. European companies were expanding into American markets. Ford needed massive investments in automotive research and development to remain competitive. The company was struggling to keep up with rapid technological changes in its core business. Ford's agricultural division, despite its success, represented only 3.5% of the company's global revenue. Running this division required constant capital investment to compete with giants like John Deere and the newly merged Case IH. Agricultural equipment demanded different engineering expertise than automotive manufacturing. The industry operated on different cycles and faced different regulatory pressures. Ford's management recognized that agricultural success required focused attention and resources. The sale to Fiat made strategic sense. Fiat had agricultural ambitions and manufacturing expertise that matched Ford New Holland's needs. The Italian company could provide the focused attention that the division required. Ford structured the deal to retain a 20% stake initially, allowing a gradual transition. By 1993, Ford completed its exit from agriculture entirely. The sale freed enormous resources for Ford's automotive operations. The company could focus on core competencies instead of managing diverse industrial businesses. Ford's agricultural exit was part of a broader corporate strategy to streamline operations and concentrate on automotive excellence. This decision proved precedent as Ford faced increasing challenges in global automotive markets during the 1990s. But Ford's industrial story extends far beyond the familiar narrative of cars, trucks, and tractors. The company's most surprising innovations often happened in places most people never imagined. Ford's industrial reach extended into markets that had nothing to do with highways or assembly lines. From the 1930s through the 1990s, Ford quietly reshaped entire industries through machines most people never saw. These efforts went beyond publicity. They were serious industrial moves that showcased Ford's broader vision. Henry Ford believed manufacturing should serve communities, not just stockholders. He envisioned factories powered by clean energy, located in rural areas where workers could balance industrial jobs with farming. This wasn't just idealistic thinking. Ford put millions of dollars behind these ideas, creating what he called village industries across rural Michigan. The Village Industries program ran from 1918 to 1947, establishing 20 small factories scattered along rivers throughout Michigan. Each facility used hydroelectric power to run precision manufacturing operations. Workers could earn steady wages while living in farming communities. The Nankin Mills facility produced screws and stencils, while the Northville plant manufactured valves for Ford vehicles. Far from toy factories, these were advanced manufacturing sites proving industry and rural life could thrive together. Ford's forestry operations in Michigan's Upper Peninsula demonstrated the company's commitment to vertical integration. Ford owned 313,000 acres of timberland to supply lumber for automotive manufacturing. The company built sawmills, logging railroads, and processing facilities. Workers lived in company towns like Iron Mountain, where Ford provided housing, schools, and medical care. This wasn't just lumber harvesting. This was sustainable forestry that managed forests for long-term productivity. The company's most ambitious venture was Fordlandia, a rubber plantation in the Brazilian Amazon that operated from 1928 to 1945. Ford invested $20 million to create a completely self-sufficient rubber production facility. The project included plantations, processing plants, hospitals, schools, and housing for 10,000 workers. Ford wanted to secure rubber supplies for tire manufacturing, while demonstrating that American industrial methods could transform tropical agriculture. But Fordlandia revealed the limits of Ford's industrial philosophy. Plant diseases devastated rubber trees planted in neat rows instead of natural jungle patterns, while cultural clashes erupted when American supervisors tried to impose Midwestern work schedules on Brazilian employees. After 20 years and enormous investment, Fordlandia produced minimal rubber and was eventually abandoned. Despite these setbacks, Ford's diversification efforts achieved remarkable successes that influenced industrial development for decades. The company's marine engine division adapted automotive power plants for commercial fishing fleets, pleasure boats, and industrial marine applications. These engines powered Great Lakes freighters, coastal fishing vessels, and river barges. Ford's marine engines earned reputations for reliability in harsh saltwater environments. Ford's aviation contributions extended far beyond wartime bomber production. The company manufactured Liberty 12 V12 engines that powered early aviation milestones. These engines flew in the first successful transatlantic flights and early airmail operations. Ford's aircraft engines combined automotive mass production techniques with aviation precision requirements. The company's industrial engine division became a hidden empire that powered equipment across dozens of industries. Ford engines ran sawmills in Oregon, irrigation pumps in California, and generators in remote mining camps. Construction companies used Ford engines in concrete mixers, bulldozers, and excavators. These weren't modified car engines. These were purpose-built industrial power plants designed for continuous operation under extreme conditions. Ford's commitment to renewable energy anticipated modern environmental concerns by decades. The company's hydroelectric plants generated clean power for manufacturing while preserving river ecosystems. Ford's experiments with alcohol fuels explored alternatives to petroleum-based transportation. The company's waste utilization programs turned sawdust into charcoal and converted agricultural waste into useful products. These diverse operations demonstrated Ford's ability to apply core manufacturing principles across virtually any industry requiring mechanical power. The company's success in forestry, marine applications, aviation, and industrial engines proved that Ford's expertise extended far beyond transportation. Each venture taught valuable lessons about materials, manufacturing processes, and market dynamics that would prove crucial as Ford faced new challenges requiring unprecedented power and reliability. The 1990s brought new challenges that demanded more power than Ford had ever delivered. Commercial customers needed trucks that could handle increasingly heavy loads while meeting stricter emission standards. Ford's answer came in 1994 with the 7.3-liter Power-Stroke diesel engine, developed in partnership with Navistar. This engine signaled Ford's first serious leap into direct injection on a light-duty platform. The 7.3-liter featured a cast-iron block that could handle extreme pressures. Forged connecting rods provided strength that gasoline engines couldn't match. The direct injection system delivered fuel precisely when and where combustion needed it most. But here's what made this engine legendary. It could run 300,000 miles when properly maintained. That durability claim wasn't marketing hype. It was real-world performance that mechanics and fleet managers still talk about today. The 7.3-liter Power-Stroke changed how people thought about diesel trucks. Commercial customers discovered they could haul heavier loads without sacrificing reliability. Construction crews found trucks that could work well all day without overheating. Farmers got power that could pull heavy implements through tough field conditions. The engine's simple design meant fewer electronic components to fail. Mechanics could repair problems with basic tools and standard parts. Word spread quickly through industries that depended on reliable transportation. The engine evolved from 210 horsepower and 425 pound-foot of torque to 250 horsepower and 505 pound-foot for automatic transmission models by 2003. These improvements came through refined fuel injection timing and turbocharger upgrades. Each generation delivered more capability while maintaining the bulletproof reliability that made the 7.3-liter famous. But Ford's diesel story hit serious obstacles in the years that followed. The 6.0-liter Power-Stroke, introduced in 2003, promised better emissions compliance and increased power output. Instead, it delivered reliability nightmares that damaged Ford's hard-earned reputation. The exhaust gas recirculation system caused carbon buildup that choked engine performance. Head gasket failures became common problems that left trucks stranded on job sites. Oil cooler failures created expensive repair bills that frustrated commercial customers. The 6.4-liter Power Stroke that followed in 2008 offered impressive power numbers, but suffered from poor fuel economy and reliability issues. Ford's diesel reputation was in serious trouble. Fleet managers started buying competitor trucks. Mechanics warned customers about Ford's reliability problems. The company that had built its reputation on durability was losing market share to more reliable alternatives. Something had to change, and change fast. Ford's answer came in 2011 with the launch of the 6.7-liter Power Stroke engine. This time, Ford ended its partnership with Navistar and developed the engine completely in-house. Codenamed Scorpion, the 6.7-liter featured advanced engineering that addressed every problem from previous generations. The compacted graphite iron block provided strength while reducing weight. Piezo fuel injectors delivered precise fuel metering that improved both power and efficiency. The turbocharger system used variable geometry to optimize performance across different operating conditions. The results spoke for themselves. The 6.7-liter Power Stroke delivered reliable performance that commercial customers could depend on. Construction companies found trucks that could handle demanding work schedules. Farmers got power that could work long days without breaking down. Ford's market share in commercial applications started climbing again as word spread about the engine's reliability. Performance improvements came steadily over the following years. The 6.7-liter Power Stroke evolved from 390 horsepower in 2011 to 500 horsepower by 2023. Torque output climbed from 735 pound-foot to an incredible 1,200 pound-foot in high-output configurations. More than impressive specs, this meant real-world power, enabling operators to haul more and handle tougher jobs. The Super Duty line's success established Ford as the backbone of American industrial operations. Construction sites from coast to coast rely on Ford trucks to transport materials and equipment. Oil fields depend on Ford's hauling capacity to move heavy drilling equipment. Emergency response teams trust Ford's reliability when lives are at stake. But diesel dominance may just be the beginning. Ford's mastery of heavy-duty power is about to face its biggest transformation yet, as digital technology reshapes what it means to build industrial machines. Today's Ford is building the infrastructure that will power tomorrow's industrial operations. Ford Pro launched in 2022 as more than just a commercial vehicle division. It's a complete ecosystem that combines trucks, software, charging infrastructure, and financing into one integrated package. From acquisition to operation, Ford Pro takes charge of the whole fleet through connected software platforms. First-year subscriptions grew 46% to 500,000, demonstrating the commercial appeal of integrated digital services. These systems go well beyond GPS. They bring smart diagnostics and predictive insights to every vehicle. Ford Pro's margins exceed 50% because software and services generate recurring revenue streams that traditional vehicle sales can't match. But here's the challenge. Commercial buyers are notoriously conservative. They stick with proven techniques that keep their businesses running. Can Ford really convince construction companies to switch from diesel trucks to electric vehicles? Will fleet managers trust software systems to manage their operations? The infrastructure for charging large electric fleets barely exists in most markets. Rural construction sites and remote job locations have no access to high-speed charging stations. Ford faces competition from established machinery giants like Caterpillar and John Deere, who have decades of experience with commercial customers. Ford's response has been comprehensive and strategic. The E-Transit van captured 50% of the electric commercial van market within its first year. This wasn't luck. Ford designed the E-Transit specifically for commercial applications. Fleet managers needed cargo space, payload capacity, and reliable service networks. Ford delivered all three. The F-150 Lightning Pro offers electric power for job sites through its mobile generator capacities. Construction crews can run tools and equipment directly from the truck's battery system. This eliminates the need for separate generators and reduces job site noise pollution. Ford's manufacturing transformation embraces Industry 4.0 technology that Henry Ford could never have imagined. The Tennessee EV Center represents Ford's first fully Industry 4.0 plant, where artificial intelligence optimizes production schedules and predicts equipment failures. Robots work alongside human workers to improve quality and reduce manufacturing errors. These aren't just efficiency improvements, they're fundamental changes in how Ford approaches manufacturing. The company is applying lessons learned from automotive production to create next-generation industrial equipment. Ford's global innovation extends beyond American borders. The company received a €2 million grant from Horizon Europe, the European Union's R&D fund for the next e-truck project, developing advanced electric truck technologies for European markets. This demonstrates Ford's commitment to worldwide commercial vehicle leadership through targeted research and development partnerships. Ford Pro FinSimple provides integrated financing that makes electric vehicle adoption easier for commercial customers. Small businesses can access affordable financing for electric trucks and charging infrastructure. Municipal programs help government fleets transition to electric vehicles with favorable terms and support services. Ford isn't just selling trucks, the company is removing the financial barriers that prevent electric vehicle adoption. The company's vision extends beyond individual vehicles to software-defined platforms that adapt to changing needs. Modern Ford trucks receive over-the-air updates that improve performance and add new features. Fleet managers can monitor vehicle health in real time and schedule maintenance before problems occur. This approach transforms trucks from static machines into dynamic platforms that improve over time. Ford's hybrid Super Duty trucks represent the next evolution in heavy-duty capability. These vehicles combine diesel power with electric assistance to deliver unprecedented torque and efficiency. The hybrid system provides instant electric torque for heavy pulling while maintaining the range and durability that commercial customers demand. This isn't just about reducing emissions. It's about creating superior performance that gives Ford a competitive advantage. Ford's global manufacturing network provides the scale needed to compete in industrial markets. The company operates factories on 6 continents and has established supply chains that can deliver products anywhere. This global reach gives Ford advantages that smaller competitors can't match. Commercial customers need reliable parts availability and service support. Ford's dealer network provides both. What began as Henry Ford's vision to mechanize American farms has evolved into a global industrial empire that spans continents and industries, connecting digital innovation with the fundamental work of building our world. Today's Ford Pro software platforms and electric Super Duty trucks represent the latest chapter in this century-long story of mechanization solving real-world labor challenges. From the Fordson tractor that fed a nation at war to the autonomous electric trucks now being tested, Ford's approach reveals a simple truth. The best industrial innovations come from understanding real work. Henry Ford watched his neighbors struggle with muscle-powered farming. He saw soldiers needing reliable vehicles. He understood that good machines should make hard work easier, not harder. That insight continues to guide a company that has spent over a century solving humanity's toughest labor and mobility challenges. The next time you see a Ford truck on a construction site, remember, you're looking at the legacy of a farm boy who never forgot that good machines make hard work easier.